Sort of like that.
You can still do slow parts. You can still do slow parts, but change it up a little bit as you're going through it.
Okay. Let's see.
Welcome to Alternate Reality.
It is going on just a tad bit too much.
I don't think The Thinker's worth a season. I really don't. Half a season, yeah, but not a full season.
But this is supposed to be the happy season.
Oh, jeez.
Because last season was too dark.
Oh, this is a happy season?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, well, Barry with the half-melted face showed up in this week's episode on a flashback. And it's like, oh, when's Melty Face coming back? Barry, when do you turn into Melty Face?
Flash time.
Yeah, flash time. He's sweating like a pig. I can't keep going. I can't do this anymore. And by the way, they need a third speedster. What happened to Kid Flash?
Oh, he's in Legends.
Okay, I'm 2 episodes behind on my Legends.
Yeah, he's a cast member. He's a newest member of the team.
I knew he was coming.
Yeah,
but I assumed that he hadn't been there yet. But he's already
shown. Rip talked him into coming in.
Okay,
and we found out that he could sing.
Oh, well, good for him.
Apparently, Dax is coming back for the last episode.
Dax
or Jax. He's coming with no powers, but he's going to be popping up in the last episode.
Oh, well, he's still around. I mean, he's not dead.
No, yeah, he's not dead.
Professor's dead, but he's not dead.
Yeah, he's going to pop back up.
Yeah, so
with no powers.
You know, you've got so many options with a Firestorm Matrix. You could just mix him up with somebody else next season.
Well, that's the whole thing with Firestorm. I was surprised he left in the first place. I mean, in the comics, all you do is just mix him with someone else. And it never works right. And it always goes south. And at some point, you always bring the Professor back. But they could have screwed around with that until he got done with Hello, Dolly. And if you wanted to come back, then you could rejoin the cast.
Yeah. He could find someone new to merge with and pop up and go, "Hi, I'm Professor Stein. I'm still in your head, but you're dead." Yes, but not in the Firestorm Matrix. I'm not dead in the Matrix.
Hey, folks, Comic Book Man here. If you've turned in to listen to Black Panther and Black Lightning discussion, sorry, we're talking about the Flash, so go away and come back another day.
Black Flash?
Black Flash. Ooh.
Is Iris supposed to be the Flash? I saw the picture of her in Flash costume.
She doesn't have powers.
She gets them Tuesday.
Oh, she get temporary power?
Yes, temporary.
I would assume so. She has a purple streak behind her.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I assume because she's black.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I said, this episode is not going to be about the Flash, although it does involve the CW character Black Lightning. Welcome to the Alternate Reality, folks. Comic Book Man here. We are, of course, coming to you from Alternate Reality, the best little comic book store on the south side of Chicago, located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood.
It's right next to Wakanda.
Right next to Wakanda. You know, we are going to tread carefully. We are going to tread carefully in this episode with some things. Where all new comics are always 15% off every day for everyone, including all my Black Panther comics, including all my Black Lightning comics, including my Flash comics, which really aren't going to be part of this conversation. But all my new comics are always 15% off every day for everyone. Once again, we are being joined on the Alternate Reality by
Rod Black Panther.
Rod Black Panther. Rod Flash and
Rod X.
Rod X. There we go.
And the ambassador from Wakanda himself,
Everett K. Ross.
Everett K. Ross. Thank you, Everett.
How are you doing?
Bocepheus. And as I mentioned, this is going to be an all Black Panther, all Black Lightning episode.
Oh, by the way, today, was it yesterday? The official total for Black Panther?
It crossed $1 billion.
$1 billion. That's Avengers money.
Crossed $1 billion. It crossed $1 billion. But we're going to talk about both shows. And we're going to talk a little bit about the cultural aspects of both. We're going to talk a little bit about the Killmonger meme, which has been going around the internet ever since Black Panther broke.
Yeah.
We're going to spend a lot of time talking about cable boxes blowing up and Goldberg barrel rolling through windows.
And going like, don't we need this?
Yeah. Don't we need that box? Nope.
Nope.
Don't we need the carpet that the thing is burning up right now? Nope.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen the Black Panther movie, well, you
must be trying to seriously avoid seeing it since it's made $1 billion so far.
Well, the point I was going to make is if you haven't seen the Black Panther movie yet, then I'm assuming spoilers don't matter to you because you don't have any interest in seeing the movie. And if you have seen it, well, these won't be spoilers because you've seen the movie.
Right. Multiple times.
But I assume that there will be Black Panther spoilers in this show, and probably Black Lightning spoilers if you're not caught up on the series or haven't been watching the series. So be warned. This is your warning.
Be forewarned.
Spoilers ahead. Which do you want to talk about first, Black Lightning or Black Panther? We probably should talk about both of them a little bit just to set up the movie and the TV series.
How about Lightning?
Okay, let's talk about Black Lightning. I've watched every episode, and at home, it's actually, believe it or not, it's the little girl's favorite CW show right now.
No, she said it's one of her favorites.
One of them?
Because I asked her, and she goes, "No, it's one of my favorites."
Okay, it was one of her favorites. Yes. But she really likes the show, especially the two girls in there, the daughters. Yeah. She really likes the two daughters, but she gravitates towards all the female characters. Go figure.
What a show!
But it doesn't matter whether the characters are Asian, black, white, whatever they are. She always gravitates towards the girl figures. Yeah. She loves May in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course Quake.
What about Fitzsimmons?
And she likes Fitzsimmons too. She likes Gemma too, and that whole relationship. But we really don't want to talk about S.H.I.E.L.D. because S.H.I.E.L.D. sucks. So
that's not sucks.
Black Lightning. It's a CW show. It's on. What nights is it on?
Thursdays?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. Okay.
Right after the Flash.
Tuesday nights right after the Flash.
That's their combo night on Tuesday.
The thing that I've noticed about the show is obviously it doesn't take place in Metropolis for obvious reasons. They don't have to get into the whole Superman thing. Yeah. Because if it was Suicide Slum in Metropolis, then you'd have to get into Superman.
You'd have to show up, or Clark Kent would have something would have to be reference, or a Daily Planet or something. Yeah, you'd have to make some kind of reference.
Yeah, you'd have to make some sort of reference, and if you didn't, it would be obvious by its lack of appearance. Right. You know, when are they going to start talking about it? So I assume they smartly put it in this mythical city of Freeland. And supposedly, unless they change their mind at some point, this takes place on its own Earth. It's not on the Flash Earth. It's not on the Flash Green Arrow Earth, and it's not on the Supergirl Earth.
Season one, the plan was to have no reference to the other CW shows.
Yeah.
Season 2, and I'm thinking it's going to be a season 2, then they will do that.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to establish the show as itself on its own first before going, oh yeah, this is all part of the same family.
And right now, the series features Jefferson Pierce, who's the principal of the high school, and principal by day, superhero by night. He's an older Black Lightning than what we're used to in the comics. He's already done the Black Lightning thing previously. He stopped doing it for a number of years. He's gotten back.
Save his family.
He's gotten back into it, and they're using the old chestnut of every time I use my powers, it's killing me, which is, if I've got one bitch about the show, that's it. Because that gets old fast.
Yeah.
You become like the clock in Spawn. All of a sudden, the clock disappears. Where'd the clock go? Oh, we didn't think the book was going to go this long.
Yeah, the title of the show is Black Lightning. Obviously, it's meant to have Black Lightning in it. Yeah. So having him have medical problems every time he uses his powers, it's like, well, what is the point behind this? Fix it.
I'm assuming Gambia will find some reason to fix it. And his wife will fix it. What is she, a biochemist or something?
Yes. Yeah, something like that. Well, of course, she's a pain in the ass. It keeps making him feel guilty about being a superhero.
A gorgeous pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah, she's quite attractive.
Yeah. Great, an attractive pain in the ass is still a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whether she's white, black, or a zebra. It's still a pain in the ass. But, the show concentrates pretty much on three storylines. The family, Black Lightning's family, Black Lightning's superhero stuff with Gambi, and then Tobias Whale. Yeah. And how the three of them bump into each other on a regular basis. Although the Tobias Whale and the family part really haven't bumped into each other too much, but you assume it will at some point.
Yeah, comment.
It has been what every story has been set on so far. So why don't you guys jump in here? You guys watch the show. You guys like the show. I have no problem with the show. I love it. I think it's real good.
I think the fact that it doesn't look like the other shows is the high point. Greg Berlanti is spread pretty thin, so he was smart enough to go, I can't do all of them. I'll just farm this off to some other people and let them work on it, and I'll just be the executive producer.
Do you know who the other people are off?
One of the executive producers is Elvis Mitchell. Oh. Elvis Mitchell is a big deal rock and roll critic for Rolling Stone. And when I saw his name, I go, damn, they got Elvis Mitchell? Okay, this has got to be good.
He also did those documentaries.
Yeah, right. And I forget who the producers are, but they're people that they went out and found. Because Black Lightning was actually supposed to be on Fox. It didn't happen.
Thank God for that. Thank God for that, because Fox would have ruined it.
Well, CBS had Supergirl originally.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we're pretty much gotten down to the point, and we talked before about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and its lousy ratings. Superheroes just don't fly.
On the big three.
And it's not just superheroes, it's genre. I mean, that goes all the way back to Star Trek. Star Trek originally got canceled because the quote-unquote audience wasn't there. But Next Generation, if that had been on network, probably never would have gotten past the second season.
Remember, Fox had the entire, for like years. What do we run on Fox on Friday nights? We were in the science fiction, fantasy, horror stuff. And that was, that was where you put it, because that's what it
was a dumping ground.
It was a dumping ground. People went, well, these people will watch it then, and they were like, no, we geek people, we're all out on Friday nights doing stuff. Why don't you put it on another night? So.
That explains it.
But yeah, it's not the usual people who work on the other CW shows. So it's got a unique look. It's the only show you could compare it with is it's kind of got an Arrow look to it. Yeah. It's got that dark Arrow look to it.
Well, it's street level.
Yeah, it's street level.
It's like a mix of the Arrow and the Wire for some reason.
Yeah.
And the first couple episodes I've watched, they mixed the music in without overpowering the scene. Yeah. And you sitting up there and you going, damn, that was genius putting that song for that particular scene.
I think one of the producers I think he had a music career.
And they're not just sticking with the old tried and true method. Okay, we're trying to get a younger crowd in here, so let's play some hip hop music. There's been some dusties that came in. They're doing like real world issues in it.
Yeah. They're using the music to set the tone of the scene, but they have it on just long enough to set the tone, and then they get it the hell out of there and actually actually do the scene. It doesn't become the scene. I mean, it fades down, it's in the background, then at some point it disappears because we're well into the scene already. We don't need it anymore.
Like most of his fight scenes are like that, with the music pumping in there to it. Then once the fight scene is over, then it cuts to another scene. Right.
My only quote with the show, Gamby.
What's wrong with Gamby? Too white?
No. I love
too Italian.
I've always loved James Remar. Peter Gamby is not Tony Stark.
Well, he is in this series.
But he is in this
I know what you're saying, but no.
You know what? I was thinking about that too, because there was a thing that was on Facebook about Black Lightning and Black Panther. Yeah. Why does a black superhero needs a white guy to come up with his weapons and stuff on there? I was like, you're totally missing the point of what Black Lightning is. Because Gamby is sort of like the conscience of Black Lightning.
Basically, he's his dad.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he's his dad.
As the one white guy here, let me point out one thing which you guys may not have noticed, which I noticed right away. Right. When you watch most shows, okay, not Black Lightning, you watch most other shows, the black actors generally are relegated to either token parts or walk-on parts. In this show, that's the white actors.
Yeah, that's the
and I picked up on that real fast. This is a quote-unquote black universe. Yeah. This is a black world with some white folks.
It's a black town. Yeah,
and the ratio of white faces to black faces in this is almost the exact flip of what you would find in most other shows. There's white characters, and there's white kids in the school. There are white kids in the background, but they don't have anything to say for the most part. No. It's always the black kids that you're listening to, and which would be just the opposite in a regular high school show with some black kids in the background. Oh, yeah, I mean, you might have the one track kid, who'd be on there, or the one smart black kid, but for the most part, they don't do much or impact the show very much at all. And that's exactly what this show is. And as far as having, the white guy be smart, you could flip this whole thing and make Black Lightning white and have Gamby black, and you would have another bitch about that. Well, why is it that only the black guy does anything? The black guy is servicing the white guy so he can go out there, and fight crime. It's like, you're never going to make some people happy.
And Peter Gamby is probably making a nice living making clothing, too.
He's got the only...
That's a great-looking store. I mean, if you're going to buy a suit, that's the store you would go to get a suit.
He's got the best looking retail shop in that city. I have yet to see a better retail shop. And the thing of it is, who the hell goes to a shop like that to get a suit anymore? I mean, no, you either go to Men's Warehouse.
Yeah.
Or you wind up going to, it used to be Sears.
Yeah, Sears.
or the mall or something. Yeah. You don't go to Gamby's, down, which is right next door to Alternate Reality, the heart of downtown Mount Greenwood. That doesn't exist.
Right, he's making you a suit. It's like,
Well, now they position themselves to be totally different from the other superheroes in the CW universe. They also brought something else, the family dynamic.
Yeah, the family dynamic is quite good.
I mean, you got Jefferson Pierce, you got his ex-wife,
who's always around, even though he's his
ex-wife. Well, that's really a weird aspect of the thing. The ex-wife is always around.
Yeah,
always around. Like, I'm making dinner. What time are you going to be home tonight?
She's around.
You're my ex, right? Why the hell are you here?
So she's around. She's around to watch the doors, and then once dinner's over with, she goes home.
Yeah.
Well, what is the point behind that? You're practically living there in the first place. I mean,
and then you know what's funny about that is for some reason or other he has custody of the girls.
Yeah.
She must be real screw up.
Well, isn't it the law said that
there might be a story there actually?
Well, it could be in order to go to the schools that they go to that they had to live there, and she doesn't live there. She lives in another suburb.
Well, that could be it too.
Yeah, but she's always there, like he said. That's a long commute from the suburbs.
She gets off work. She gets on the highway. She shows up.
She's eating dinner with him.
And they're teasing the whole thing that they're probably going to end up getting back together, and that's the other part of it.
I want to see him get together with his vice principal.
Now, that's what you assumed when the show first started, and as the show has continued, that has become less and less likely to ever happen.
I've gotten this real adversarial thing going by between the assistant
principal.
She has turned
into it. Yeah, she's more or less turned into an adversary now. You know, because her idea what the school should be and his idea are not the same.
I think you're talking about the episode of the kid on the drugs, and they said he's got to be expelled, and he's like, no, you're messing up his scholarship.
Right.
The social thing that's going on in Black Lightning, you can pretty much look at that in the paper and go, man, this is actually on point. Yeah. Like the episode where the gangbanger came in and pulled the gun on there, and as Jefferson Pierce basically stopped him, didn't hit him or nothing, and told him point blank, do you know what happens when you pull a gun out in school and everything? Like, they're gonna lock your blank
you're gonna be locked up for
you're gonna get a trigger happy cop that's gonna blow you away.
Right.
So think twice before you do something like that.
And the kid goes, hey, he's right. I may get killed. Let me put my gun away, get out.
And I'm sitting up there going, this is a superhero show? Okay, I gotta invest.
Well, yeah, he puts on a costume, he throws lightning bolts. Yeah. And by the way, his costume, I really like that costume. I mean, I bitch a lot about costumes.
Yeah.
I bitch a lot about costumes.
Because that's not the costume in the comics.
No,
it's not glow in the dark. It's much better.
No, it's not the one in the comics, but you know what? It works better. Okay, this is one of the few times where they took what was in the comics, changed it, but made it better. They really did. I mean, I really like that costume.
Well, Tim, you want to tell them the difference between the costume in the comics and the movie?
What do you mean?
You was telling me how much you love the fact that Black Lightning, his costume was basically a blue and white jacket that you put on, pullover jacket. Yeah. But the best thing Tim was talking about was the mask.
Oh yeah, the mask. Well, I always thought you were going to.
No, I thought the mask had a fro. Yeah, the mask had a built-in fro.
I said that before.
And when the comic came out, I went, "That's just stupid."
No, it's not. That's brilliant. He can be bald underneath. I mean, right now he's practically bald in this.
And for a while, when he popped up off and on in the comics, he was bald. But when he started, he wasn't bald.
No, it was the white mask with the afro attached to it. And all you have to do is just put
I thought that was brilliant. I mean, that not only throws off the face, but it throws off the hair, too. And the shape of the head.
How exactly could you keep this thing on?
Well, the same way all masks are kept.
Well, that thing in the show, he still looks like Crest Williams with the mask on.
Oh, but guess what? Guess how they got over that, though?
What?
He vibrates his face and distorts his voice.
Okay.
I think.
He modulates his voice.
Yeah. Tuesday's episode.
Yeah, we do that. He modulates
Tuesday's episode. Now he has sort of a helper with the police department.
Okay.
And they have a burner phone. So he calls them, and Black Lightning sees this guy, and then he does something to his voice and goes.
That's Inspector Henderson. Your callback to the Superman universe.
Yeah. Right, and he's going, Tobias is so and so. Tobias is dead. I killed his ass. You did, huh? You do know I'm a police officer,
right?
Being the Superman fan that I am, I cannot bitch about his mask and be able to pass Clark Kent, Superman. So, yeah, I do the same thing. I look at that and I go, "You're Jefferson Pierce, with some ski goggles." But I can't bitch about that because of Clark Kent Superman. And my attitude's always been, look, it's comic book. It's a fictional universe. If you're going to buy into all this, you buy into that too. The only thing I wish they would do would be, and this is true for any character, don't run into too many people in your Jefferson Pierce life that you're going to run into in your Black Lightning life, because otherwise people go, oh, you and wait a minute, you're the same guy. So, but if you keep it separate,
it works.
It works. And we're going to take a break, but we'll be back right after this. Every Sunday is super at Alternate Reality with our Super Sunday Sale. Each Sunday we pick a different character, family, or publisher, and we discount all of their comics and trade paperbacks 25% off all day long. What we pick for the sale is different each week, but each Sunday you'll save 25% off. And that's all day long, all day Sunday, only at Alternate Reality. And we're back. Anyway, we were talking about Black Lightning. Let's get to Black Panther. Let's go over a little bit. We just passed $1 billion in the box office.
It's the only time that you've actually had Chadwick Boseman's on the cover of Time Magazine and Rolling Stone the same week. That is not normal.
Last time that happened was Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
That was 30 years ago.
We don't really need to talk too much about the plot. I mean, I think everybody knows what the plot is by this point. You know, T'Challa, he winds up having to take the test to be king again. Right. He passes the test, becomes king, and then Killmonger shows up. He has to take the test again because Killmonger is a member of the family. Yeah. He loses in the test, gets kicked off the waterfall, doesn't have his Panther powers, somehow manages to survive. Yes. Which is like stupid, but it somehow manages to survive after being kicked off of a waterfall 70 stories tall.
He landed into the really soft water.
Yeah, he landed in soft water, and then he gets buried in snow, which somehow has rejuvenative powers.
He's in a coma.
To bring him, well, he's in a coma. I would be too if getting kicked off a 70-story waterfall.
Didn't hit any rocks.
There you go.
Yeah. And he has his Lion King talk with his dad, and comes back, fights at the Underground Railroad, and then Killmonger dies at the end.
Yes.
And they pretty much cement the whole Martin Luther King, Malcolm X thing with the two of them. Yes. Then he goes back to Oakland, which is where the movie opened up, to build the Wakanda
Outreach Center and Science Lab.
Yeah, in Science Lab.
And then the first post-credits scene, he introduced himself to you and going, we're going to share what we have. And they're going, share what, your farmers, and he does a smile thing. He does a Superman smile twice.
I saw that. I like that. The Superman grin.
Like, who are you? Smile. And it's like, what can you give us? Oh, really? You want to know what we can give you? Oh, you have no idea the crap we got. You don't have.
Now, I've got a couple of problems with the movie, and they're internal geek problems. It's nothing to do with some of the problems that folks outside of the comic book world might have.
Too many black people in it.
Well, no. Yeah, really? No. That's Wakanda. Vibranium seems to be able to do just about whatever the hell you want it to do. Once upon a time, Vibranium it was just a metal that was really rare and really valuable, which it still is, and you can use it to make cars and shields and planes and whatever, and that will give it special properties. Now you're healing people with broken backs and making serums out of it.
Hey, I like that.
You're doing all sorts of crap with this metal, which I don't think was ever originally envisioned in the comic.
No, it wasn't.
It is the wonder drug of the planet Earth. In that you can do anything you want with it whenever you want. I'm assuming at some point they'll be making vibranium rods and shoving them up people's butts, and they'll have superpowers or something from it. Doesn't that bother anybody?
With the whole thing with Ross and the thing in his back, that's magnetic therapy. It's basically the same principle.
His spine was broke.
Yeah, his spine was broke.
It's more than magnetic therapy.
So basically, it's just it's electronic stimulation. I don't have a problem with that fact that it's able to do anything because it's introduces in a metal that just has these weird properties and you can do a whole bunch of stuff with.
This is coming on the 20th anniversary of the Marvel movies.
Yeah. No, that would make 1998. No, 2008, the 10th anniversary. No, I think what you're thinking of, this is like the 28th movie.
Something like that.
Right. Yeah, but the movies have been coming out for 10 years now. Since Iron Man 1.
Since Iron Man 1.
Right.
Which started
and they haven't mentioned adamantium even, but vibranium has been talked about sporadic.
Adamantium's stuck over at Fox right now, I think.
Yeah.
Well, they stopped using it over there too in a couple of, except for the last Logan's story.
Well, it's back now. We can use it again. It's ours.
We can use
Summertime. It's ours, baby.
When they was talking about vibranium, this and everything, and I'm looking at it going, okay, so now we can see more of Claw in there.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
Well, now it's spoilers. He's not alive no more. So
no, he's not alive.
That's the other problem I have. Not so much that they killed Claw, because I'm assuming he's coming back from the dead after Avengers: Infinity War.
He is sound.
Yeah, he is sound.
He's half sound.
He is sound. He's half sound. Yes, that's an automatic out.
Well, I'm assuming he's coming back. But why did Killmonger need him in the first place? Okay, it starts off there in the museum, and Claw is part of the group that comes in and helps him steal the mask. Right. Then they do this whole Thomas Crown Affair thing where they get him out of the museum in the stretcher, and he was part of the terrorist thing, and we got to get him out of here. Ultimately all he does is kill him so he could drag his body back and dump it in front of somebody and say, "Look, here he is." Why does he even need him in the first place?
I think
Killmonger could have gotten that mask out all by himself.
I know, but I think because Killmonger probably has spies in Wakanda.
No, the one thing I picked up out of that is Killmonger's an independent agent. He's working all by himself, except for that girl that was with him, and that was his girlfriend, isn't it?
I think, I think he's using Claw as a means to an end. That's where they're working together. He doesn't need Claw, but he doesn't need Claw per se. But having Claw with him gives him more of an opportunity.
Yeah, but remember, Claw was also he was also wanted.
I'm assuming that during the time in which Killmonger left the service and did all this other stuff, he and Claw have run into each other independently, and they decided temporarily.
Right, but don't forget, Killmonger already knew where he was from. Yeah. He knew from the get-go. He knew right then and there.
Killmonger knew what he was going to do with him from the get-go.
Yeah. Well, all I need is this guy's head. Yeah. But
I'm wondering why he even bothered bringing the body. He should just cut the head off and said, "Here you go. Here's the guy."
Well, because when he went in to say, that guy right there, he's not the only one that belongs on the throne. I should be up there too, because my father was the
I'm brother.
Yeah,
right.
Hi, Auntie.
Yeah,
that's the best line in the movie. That's everywhere.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Auntie. So I'm thinking that Killmonger basically proved right then and there, since T'Challa couldn't bring Claw in now. Guess what? I got the guy who killed him.
If I bring Claw in, then I've got my end, because everyone wants it.
Right, and I think
Daniel,
that's why
Daniel of the I can't figure out his last name. If he hadn't brought Claw in, he wouldn't have
been able to get.
He wouldn't have bonded with him and helped him.
Killmonger is a user, so basically he needed all the help he can get to go up there and say, "I'm taking over the throne." Because if you notice the scene where Killmonger and T'Challa's going back and forth, Kalula's character basically he switched sides like in a heartbeat. He did like that. Yeah, he does have a right to the throne. Let's have another contest.
Yeah, it's like what? Who? What?
He said, "Wait a minute, no, you lied. You basically didn't do what you said."
I told you to do this, and you didn't bring him back.
You didn't bring back Claw. He did. So guess what?
He did. I got to work with him. But at the end, I go. Wait a minute, you're my girlfriend. You going to kill me? Yeah, okay, I'm with you guys. I'm with you guys. We're cool now. We're cool now.
That Shakespearean thing about it.
Very Shakespearean.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of Shakespearean aspects to that whole story.
And your point, he's like, wait a minute, this is Wonder Woman.
Well, yeah, that was going to be the third one I was going to mention. And I'm not trying to bum rap the movie at all by this, but when I'm sitting there watching the very opening where they're showing the meteor coming into Earth and then Earth orbit and then crash landing, and then you have the different tribes fighting one another, and then they all come together and they seclude themselves from the rest of the world, and then World War I happens, and that's when they realize that they need to start reaching out to the rest of the world. I'm watching all this, and I turned to Bo and I said, "This is Wonder Woman." What the hell? This is Wonder Woman. And we just saw all this like 6 months ago.
And you know what that is called?
What?
That's called the Martha moment.
The Martha moment.
Martha.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Why you say Martha? Because until that point, people go, "I never thought about that." Yeah, their brothers are both named Martha.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah. That's what you mean.
I never thought about that. I'm like, oh, yeah, their brothers are both named Martha. Darn, it never occurred to me to go, oh, yeah.
No, you got Themyscira and Wakanda. They're both kingdoms.
Yes.
They're both set apart from the rest of the world. They both have something unique about them. One is basically gods, and the other one is the vibranium. Yeah. And they're both
technology,
and they both close themselves off from the rest of the world
because they go, "You people are crazy."
Would you blame them?
We like to keep our lives separate because you people over there are nuts.
And their civilizations have thrived just fine, thank you, without having to deal with the rest of the world. But now we're in the 20th century or 21st century. But they've gotten this far, and they decide, okay, well, we have to reach out to the rest of the world because the rest of the world's going to hell in a handbasket, and we can be the ones that save the world. And it's very on both parts. It's very altruistic. Yeah. I mean, they could very easily just stay on their island or stay within Wakanda and say, "Okay, go kill yourselves. We're fine.
Do whatever you want. We're fine here. We're living in Asgard. Leave us alone."
But they both realize that the world is bigger than just them. It happens in Black Panther with Kilgore's dad and his brother.
Yeah.
That passes down to the children, which has T'Challa finally realize, I have to build this outreach center because you know what? my roots go out to Oakland and the rest of the world too. And with Wonder Woman, okay, they realize that, man's world is destroying themselves, and hey, they just found Themyscira. Yeah. The Germans just washed up on our shore, and we had to fight them. You know what? At some point, we need to be proactive because more of them are probably coming at some point.
They know we're here. We're going to show up.
So we will send our envoy out, Wonder Woman, Diana, to go make contact with them and beat the crap out of them.
And you get the other part. Wakanda's war dogs, they're all over the world. So they've been watching us even though they're not involved.
Well, I wouldn't be at all surprised to hear that in Themyscira, they've done the same thing.
Yeah.
There's every 100 years, one Amazon is picked to be the one that goes out and becomes part of the world and comes back to Themyscira and says, well, they just invented something called the telegraph.
It's like, oh, okay. Mom from Wonder Woman could be the one who went there before. Oh, yeah, I know what the Earth was like. I'm over there.
Well, she's busy fighting CGI Steppenwolf.
She's busy fighting Steppenwolf. It's coming out this week on Blu-ray. So.
It'll be great, I'm sure.
Oh, boy.
You'll get to see, apparently, I don't want to even get into that. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I don't even want to get into it. I don't even want to go near it.
Right.
Okay. Talk to me about the Killmonger meme. Now, for those folks who haven't seen it, and I can't imagine anybody who hasn't by now, Killmonger standing there, and what is it? Killmonger was right.
Killmonger was right.
Okay. And
it's a Facebook. Yeah, it's a Facebook meme morning around it.
And for the folks who don't know, what does that mean?
Well, Killmonger believes that people who've been oppressed and people who've been underrepresented should be protected, and they should be the ones in charge because they've been screwed. And so his idea is we're going to take all these nice vibranium weapons and bring them all over the world, and so the people who've been oppressed are going to take over.
Right. That's it.
So in his mind, he doesn't think of himself as being a villain, even though what he's doing
is
makes him a villain.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, the meme is Facebook. He was right. No, he's not right. His idea was fine.
His idea was
his way of doing what he wants to do. That's wrong. You're saying, well, we'll bring all these weapons out here and we'll just take over the world. No, that's not helping anything. That's making it worse.
And that's the Magneto paradox.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was saying. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Right. Magneto's attitude is always, I'm here to protect the mutants.
My people, the
because
mutants.
you're trying to kill the mutants.
But we need to be rulers.
Right. We need to be in charge.
Yeah. We need to be in charge. And that's what Killmonger basically says. When he actually takes over Wakanda, he says point blank, we're going to send these guys out here with these weapons here, and now we are going to start calling the shots here. And they're going, wait a minute, but you saying that you're doing... No, I'm the king, and the king's word is his law.
Not only am I the king, but the root, the thing that makes me the Black Panther, burn all that crap. So I'm the last king.
Well, and that's one of the things that bothered me most about him. You're getting into the history of Wakanda.
Yeah.
That root is there for a reason.
Yes.
That root helps to perpetuate the Black Panther from generation to generation to generation to generation. And if you're just going to destroy it, that is about as narrow-minded as let's build a wall, not a bridge.
Yeah.
Okay? Because basically what he's doing is he's building a wall, walling off Wakanda from that point on, from the future of being able to bring forth the Black Panther.
Yeah, there will be no more Black Panthers.
I got this strange feeling of thinking that Killmonger basically realized that he wasn't going to be living long enough to what he was planning on doing to begin with. Just so long as his people get it, because if you know, he said that over and over, especially the speech he did when he was chastising the lady in the museum.
Yeah.
And my thinking is that
well, there's an old saying: history is written by the victors.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And even though it might be wrong.
And by the way, we can let people know this right away. There's another route out there somewhere. This isn't over with.
I am sure that there is a scene somewhere.
Someone else took and went.
Probably in Black Panther.
I'm going to grab a couple of these.
Yeah, probably.
And put them away because what he's doing, we don't want that to happen.
Probably in Black Panther 2, which may wind up becoming the plot point that launches Black Panther 2. You probably had one of those gardeners there. Okay, pocket one. The same way What's-Her-Face came out of the rocks, grabbed one for T'Challa, and then snuck back in.
We found out, Forrest Whitaker had another garden plant over there that we didn't know anything about.
or another garden. Another garden.
We didn't know anything about that.
That was his secret garden.
Yeah, it was my secret.
It only had like 3 plants in it, but you can always take just one and
build more stuff because in the comics, his sister Shuri becomes a Black Panther at some point.
Right.
That was incredibly short-sighted on his part. I mean, and one of the things that did for me is
Well, that was ego. That was a move made out of ego.
We've got this whole discussion of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and whether or not you take a more charitable, wider worldview, or whether or not you take the we were oppressed, so we want reparations view of things. Not to knock either side as far as that goes, but when you get to the point where, burn all this crap because there ain't going to be anyone else than me in the future, well, that's an incredibly narrow-minded, short-sighted view of how you're going to see the world after you're gone, okay? Because all I care about is me and my rule, and once I'm gone, I won't care because I'll be gone. Right. So all of you can go screw by that point.
You'll have no one in charge. The person will be in charge, but he won't be able to be the Black Panther because, we can't. The route.
As opposed to who knows how many hundreds of generations previous to him.
Yeah, because he's talking to his dad. You're sitting there going, well, those are all the previous Black Panthers hanging out behind him.
Right.
Yeah, the Lion King moment.
Yeah.
That's like I said, that's where my takeaway from it is that Killmonger basically just wants to have the world start in chaos and have these people rise up and everything, and he doesn't care if he lives to see it. He just wants to start.
Well, that's the
like you said. That's a narrow-minded view. But Marvel's villains have always have a certain sort of reason behind their stuff. Yeah. That sort of makes some sort of strange, twisted sense. But you're going about it the wrong way.
But that's the line Ross has. He said, "This is what he does. He gets involved. He gets embedded, and then he tears it all down." That's what he's been trained to do.
Which is what was good about The Dark Knight, with that speech that Alfred had. You know what? Sometimes there's just some guys who just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, but
can't reason with them.
But the Joker's crazy. And that story that Alfred tells, that's Alfred saying, you know what? There are people in the world that are crazy.
Yeah. Right.
Killmonger's not crazy.
Oh, no.
Killmonger has a very sane agenda that he wants to do. The problem is he's very selfish and self-centered about it.
And most selfish and self-centered villains aren't necessarily looking past the future. They just want to concentrate on the now.
Maybe the problem with Killmonger in the movie is, not whatever his attitude might be about, my people have been oppressed and all that, because you can go back and forth like that all day long. But how he actually feels about the throne, Wakanda, what he's walking into, and how little he cares about all of it. But he cares enough about it to want the power.
He wants the power.
But he doesn't care enough about it to preserve it or protect it or to process it. He sees it all as a means to an end.
And that's why you get
nothing more.
That's why you get the flashback scene where the father goes, "You obviously learned nothing."
Right. Right, where he's sitting there talking, and his father's telling him, "Didn't I tell you about touching my stuff?"
Right.
And he sits down and tells him the whole story about Wakanda and stuff, and he's like, "Someday you may actually get to see it." And one of the best lines was the speech between T'Challa and Killmonger as he's pulling the blade out of him, and he says, "We can heal you." He said, "No." He said, "No," point blank. Which told me right there that Killmonger basically wanted to do what he wanted to do and didn't care if he survived at the end of it. He said, "No, just put me in the ocean."
That's fine, and I understand where that whole thing comes from and how that resonates with a lot of folks. But he doesn't care if he plunges Wakanda into a world war with the rest of the world. And a world war which would probably end in Wakanda being destroyed.
Yeah.
Along with most of the rest of the world probably being destroyed. Yeah. He doesn't care about any of that, but that doesn't make him a very interesting character past a certain point. All I care about is burning everything down. But I'm not crazy. I'm sane. I'm just mad. Okay, Joker, whatever happened to Joker, he went crazy. Yeah. And now all he cares about is watching the world burn. That's all he cares about. Yeah. Killmonger ain't crazy. Killmonger is not nuts. He's just consumed with his own anger.
He's sort of like a selfish boy who saw his father get murdered.
Yeah.
And basically for some reason he's thinking he's avenging his father, but he's going behind the whole Malcolm X thing of my people being oppressed, so I'm going to start liberating them. And no, I'm not going to see the end of this, but I want to see what I start, which unfortunately he didn't see what he started.
Okay, we're going to stop right there for a moment and take a quick break, but don't go away because we'll be back right after this. Good grades deserve a reward, and at Alternate Reality, we make that an actuality. If you're a grade schooler in the Chicagoland area and you get a report card, then you're eligible to join our Good Grades Club. Each A gets you a 2% discount and each B a 1% discount, up to a possible total of 25% off based on your grades for this marking period. Just bring in your current report card, and we'll issue you a Good Grades Club card, and every time you make a purchase, that's the discount you'll get. So stop by the store and get the discount you deserve for your good grades.
And we're back.
Where do you think this is going to go from here? Between the two shows, I mean, Black Lightning is not kicking ass and taking names the same way in TV, the same way Black Panther is. But ratings are good. People are watching it, and I know that there's people talking about it out there for what it's doing. You put those two together, and what does this mean for the future of black entertainment, black television, black characters?
Theater owners have sort of made it quite clear to all the studios, saying, we'd like some more superhero films with non-white actors.
So this is the game changer we were discussing.
This is the game changer. The question is, what other heroes are you going to do this with?
I don't hear anybody clamoring for a Luke Cage movie.
Well, you're not going to get... Once Luke Cage is on Netflix, you're never going to get...
No, I understand that, but there's only so many characters out there you can draw from.
Well, you got the entire Milestone universe.
Well, yes, you do. And we've talked about the Milestone universe. If the owners get their heads out of their ass long enough, they might actually be able to do something with this.
You got the entire Milestone universe that you want to do this with.
I can, now that you mentioned the Milestone, I could actually see them pulling their resources and trying to make a Static Shock movie. Because you can have an appeal to the younger generation there, and you have an African-American superhero, and you push that out there like that as a movie. And not only that, you also still have the cartoon of them. Yeah. And don't forget, he showed up in a couple of Justice League cartoons, I believe.
And you've got one relatively obvious thing you could do. If Chris Evans doesn't want to be Captain America anymore, who's Captain America? Does it have to be Sebastian Stan? Or can it be Falcon?
Please, God, no.
No,
please,
not Phil. No. I'm going back to what I've said before about a black Captain America. You want a black Captain America? Go back to the truth. You
would introduce him.
You've already done that. He predated Steve Rogers.
You would introduce him.
Okay, he is still walking around. He still has super soldier form in him, and yes, he's pissed off. But you know what? You write him out of that.
Yeah.
Over at Marvel, for some reason. And I don't know what the problem is with that character, because when Truth came out, it was a huge hit.
It was.
People love that book primarily because they tied it in with the Tuskegee experiment.
I think one of the main reasons they haven't done much with the characters is because the writers who worked on that book, that guy doesn't do comics anymore.
Okay, well, fine. That Marvel still owns the character.
So,
have someone else do it.
Find someone else pop up. But yeah, you could do with a couple of other things. I mean, there are characters out there you could use.
Oh, there's one right now. There's one right now we haven't talked about that they could use. That's been out there for over 30-some years. Storm. Not only is she African American, but she's also female.
Yeah.
That kills two birds with one stone right there.
Well,
you put it.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that is Fox.
Well, soon to be.
Well,
Marvel.
yeah. Well, no.
Soon to be Marvel. Yeah.
Well, soon to be, but until then,
I guarantee they're gonna green light that as quickly as possible. Now that they're seeing the Black Panther numbers are going up.
Once you get to the point where the sale comes completely and totally through, we don't know what Phase 4 is yet.
I think they're delaying it to find out what's going on with the sale and whether or not they're going to shove Fantastic Four in there.
Well, I'm imagining you're going to find out. No, I'm imagining they already. The big board in the Marvel Studios, Phase 4 is up there. Because what? This week's Entertainment Weekly has got God knows how many covers.
The Avengers Infinity
like 12
cover.
or 16 of them.
Yeah, it's a bunch of covers there. Okay, in the office, the Phase 4 stuff has been on that board for a while.
I will bet you they are ready with Phase 4 to pull what they did in 3 with Inhumans and Spider-Man Homecoming, where they are ready on a dime to pull one of the 4 out, put it on TV, or just put it back on the bench and throw Fantastic Four up.
Well, not necessarily.
I'm trying to think of what other African American characters they can make, because quite frankly, I'm shocked that Black Lightning, as good as it is, got picked for CW.
No, Black Lightning, if you're going to do an African-American character in the DC universe, Black Lightning makes sense. I mean, you can't go to Cyborg because they've got Cyborg shuttled off into the wonderful Justice League movie universe.
Yeah. Okay, what about John Stewart, Green Lantern?
John Stewart, Green Lantern is going to be the savior of the Green Lantern Corps. As far as I'm concerned, that's an inevitable event that's going to happen.
The next
Green
Lantern is going to be John Stewart.
Especially after Black Panther. Yeah. There's no way in hell. No, seriously. There's no way in hell that Warner's is going to sit there and go, oh, we have a black Green Lantern? No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
But remember, who's the guy? Who's the actor hooked up to being the next Green Lantern now?
Well, it's been Idris Elba forever and a day, but he's getting too old.
No, we're talking about Green Lantern.
Yeah, Green Lantern.
Tom Cruise.
I saw that. I saw that.
That's
but,
assuming they do Hal Jordan.
But that's part of the core.
Or if it's Kyle Rayner.
It's the Green Lantern core.
Yeah, but
it's not the Green Lantern movie.
But like he said, since Black Panther's now a game changer, I guarantee you the next DC character is John Stewart Green Lantern.
He could be the Green Lantern core, but it's going to be featuring the Black Green Lantern, John Stewart.
It could be, hi, I'm Hal Jordan. I'm the mentor of.
Poor Louis Gossett Jr. He's too old to play.
I would hope that they would address Hal Jordan in the next movie. He doesn't have to be in it. Jordan is doing something, or we have to go rescue Jordan from Sinestro. In which case, we won't see him until the last 10 minutes of the movie because he's locked up in a basement somewhere.
When Tom Cruise say second billing to somebody,
Tom Cruise has so much money he doesn't care.
But yeah, I think Jon Stewart's an inevitability with the Green Lantern thing. But it's the movie universe, okay? When the two universes don't meet up, they're trying to keep them as separate as humanly possible.
Right, but like you said earlier, this movie here is the game changer because they not only realize that there are people actually out there wanting to see movies like this, so there you go. They, like you said, they get their heads out of their butts and go.
Well, that's the Milestone universe. Okay, those folks. They really need to figure out what they're doing with their lives and get the goddamn characters out there because now is the time. Right this minute is the time to be doing this.
I say put all your resources behind Static. They'll make it. It's the logical sense.
Static or Icon.
Icon.
You know what?
Icon Superman.
No, you know what? You can break those two up. One of them can be in the movies, and one of them can be on TV.
I put Icon on TV.
And you can do either or.
No, I think Icon's better, or Hardware.
Or hardware, yeah, hardware.
Remember that is a line that DC's doing. So yeah, those characters will be out in comics. I'm assuming by the end of the summer, they're coming out.
And I'm sure Warner's would be more than happy to buddy up with them in order to help make these films happen.
Yes.
I mean, you got the fictional city Dakota, and you go. There's a superhero right there. Bam.
One of the things that Warner's did do right was making Suicide Squad as multi-ethnic as it was, because that movie made a hell of a lot more money than it ever deserved to make. No, seriously, than it ever deserved to make because you had an Hispanic character who was out front and center. You had a black character who isn't black in the comics, but he's now a black character.
American Indian character was there for a short period of time.
Yeah, a black character who was out front and center, and of course you had your Harley Quinn, Joker, female crazy character, out there. But that movie did not deserve to make nearly as much money as it did, and a lot of the reason it did was because Hispanics went to go see it for El Diablo. African Americans went to go see it because of Deadshot when they heard that Will Smith was playing the character. And Warner's already has that under their belt. It doesn't take a genius to figure out we should replicate this.
Well, yeah, because Suicide Squad 2 begins shooting relatively quickly. Gavin O'Connor's doing it, so I'm assuming maybe Warner's has learned their lesson and they'll leave him alone.
Well, after Suicide Squad and Justice League and Batman vs. Superman, if they haven't learned their lesson by now, they're never going to learn.
Right, so you look over at David Ayer and go, why don't you just leave him alone? He didn't need your help making movies before he got
that and Wonder Woman.
Stay out of the way.
That and Wonder Woman being hands-off and coming out and being the biggest success they've had so far.
Yes, you hire people to do the movies, stay out of the way.
Okay, we're going to wrap this up. Any final thoughts you two have on either Black Panther, Black Lightning, and what's going on right now? Good. Okay. No final thoughts.
Sneakers. No.
Yes, sneakers.
You know what he called them? Sneakers.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm just saying, just remember this moment because it can only get better.
Well, it could also get worse. I don't think Marvel will screw the pooch, but the jury's out on Warner's.
Well, yeah. Feige's already talking about, yes, of course there's going to be a Black Panther 2. What are you, stupid?
There's a whole lot of other stuff they can tap now on there.
True.
And there's a lot of characters that, as much as I hate to say it, Black Panther was a B-level character.
He's always been a B-level character.
For a long time. Yeah. And he comes out the gate swinging.
And that's the one thing that I want to wrap up with this. I've talked about this before. When Guardians of the Galaxy came out,
those were C-level characters.
C-level characters that made $1 billion, which is the reason why you don't see anybody in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that are worth a damn. Marvel doesn't want to waste a potential $1 billion character
on
TV, so you don't see anything. Black Panther, as wonderful as it may have been and how great it may have been that it made all this money, it has not helped that problem at all. The characters that you're going to see show up on TV, being a B-level character, that has had, at best, a shoddy publication history over the course of the last 30, 35, 40 years over at Marvel. I mean, there have been long stretches, like for a decade plus, that Black Panther just hasn't been on the racks. And the only place you're going to find him is guest starring in something or other. And then he comes out and he makes $1 billion. You don't think for a minute Marvel's not looking at that and go, Paste Pot Pete. I don't know if we can waste him on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
He might make $1 billion in a movie.
We don't know.
At which point you're creatively hamstrung into not doing anything.
We don't know.
Oh boy!
I think the Trapster, the new series.
We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with the Rorschach Test. Every Sunday is super at Alternate Reality with our Super Sunday Sale. Each Sunday we pick a different character, family, or publisher, and we discount all of their comics and trade paperbacks 25% off all day long. What we pick for the sale is different each week, but each Sunday you'll save 25% off. And that's all day long, all day Sunday, only at Alternate Reality. And we're back. Guys, I'm going to give you a name. IDW Comics.
Hanging by a thread. And I say that because of the licensing. The licensing comics are geared towards a certain niche and certain age.
They're
like for me, it was
audience.
Right. Like for me, it was Micronauts and Rum. But now both of those books are canceled, and they put those into like team-up books. Like right now, there's Rum and the Micronauts. I'm a Rum fan. I read it growing up as a kid.
You and Brian Bendis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's the thing you have to remember about those Toy Box Heroes. When they came out at Marvel, except for a brief run with G.I. Joe and Transformers, none of them burned the house down as far as sales go.
They were steady.
They were very steady, okay? And G.I. Joe peaked big in its first 30 or so issues. And Transformers peaked big in its first 30 or so issues. But after that, it was B-level status as far as sales go. And it always was. And I've seen nothing out of the IDW stuff that makes me think any different. That stuff is like if the Marvel had just kept publishing it up until 2 years before IDW got it, and they picked it up, that would pretty much be what the numbers were at Marvel when they left.
Well, see, I didn't know about the sales when the book was there. That's from your end. I didn't know that the sales were that B level. I just remember when the book came out and the 2 issues, which was probably their biggest selling of the entire Rum line, was the 2 issues with the X-Men appearance.
Yeah, well, and why were the X-Men in the book? The books weren't selling.
Exactly. Well. Right. See, like I said, I didn't know that. Right. I just picked the book up because I like reading it. Yeah. I didn't know it wasn't selling.
DC and Marvel always do the same thing. If they want to spike sales on a book, you either stick Spider-Man or the X-Men in it. DC, you stick either Batman or Superman.
Right. And
or Dr. Doom shows up as a villain.
Yeah. Or I remember.
Yikes!
Where did he come from?
Now, as far as the G.I. Joe part, I just remember those commercials, and they kept saying, and this was funny because they would have somebody in a costume, right? And they say, to find out what happened, go to your neighborhood comic book store and ask for the next issue of G.I. Joe.
But Rocky Balboa, remember, was never a member of G.I. Joe.
Okay. But we're talking about AEW, so you're thinking hang on by a thread.
Yeah.
What about you, Bo?
It was an art market company. It was Ideas and DreamWorks, I think, was the original. I think that's what it stood for.
Yeah, the IDW actually stands for Ideas and DreamWorks.
Yeah, and the first couple books they pushed were Ashley Wood, and Ashley Wood was an acquired taste.
Yeah, I know.
Was it zombies and robots? You know, and most of the stuff they came out with when it started was all stuff that appealed to older readers. You got no teenage input in it whatsoever. It was the people in their 20s and 30s. They haven't really gotten past that, except, the people who were buying the books in the 20s and 30s. Okay, they're now 40s, 50s, and 60s, and they're doing all the licensing stuff. They don't do a lot of original content. They never, that's never been their strong suit.
But they do it.
They do it, but it's not a major part of their publishing thing. It was always supposed to be a company that appealed to older readers. Never made any appearances to try to deal with younger readers.
Well, to that end, though, when Boom lost the Disney license, IDW picked it up.
Yeah,
and through the Disney stuff, which also includes the Star Wars kids comic.
Stuff. Yeah, they still got that.
They have a very strong presence in the kids market. Okay, with that stuff. Now, of course, that's all licensed material. I mean, none of it's original. But they also do Goosebumps, which is part of the kids line, and they also do, back to Toy Box Heroes, the Stretch Armstrong book is a kids book. And that's another licensed product. But I mean, they do a lot of kids books now, and they have farmed themselves out into that market.
But as we were talking about this online, when you, Jim, and I were talking about this on Instant Messenger. When you go to a comic shop on Wednesday, or whenever day you wander in a comic shop, you've got DC, Marvel, Image, Dark Horse. DC books are $2.99, Marvel books are $3.99, all the Image books are basically $3.99, all the Dark Horse books are $3.99. By the time you come into the store on Wednesday and you pick up all your stuff, you don't have a lot of money to spend on a $3.99 IDW book.
Right.
So basically it goes, oh yeah, it looks interesting, and then you go, wait a minute, the new X-Men's out. Okay, I got it.
that gets into your licensed stuff that Rodney was talking about.
Yeah,
Rodney comes in and picks up ROM or picks up Micronauts because he bought ROM or Micronauts 30 years ago when he was buying Marvels, and that's why he picks it up. Yeah, I'll get my Marvels, I'll get my DCs. Oh, look, ROM. As far as you're concerned, I'm sure when you see ROM there, the rest of the rack with the rest of the IDWs is blank.
Yeah,
all you see is ROM.
Yeah. Because like I said, the Transformers, I saw the cartoon that was it. I didn't pick up the book. And Mask, I never saw it. I saw maybe a half an episode and I was like, what is this?
And that's one of the reasons they're doing the Black Crown line, is to try to get more bodies in the door for their books.
Appealing for the 20 to 30-year-old crowd. Yeah. I picked up ROM when Marvel did it. I picked up Micronauts. When I saw the solicitations for the IDWs, I went, I got no interest in this. I don't care.
Yeah.
My interest in the characters disappeared. Because I'm looking at the creative teams and going, who are these people? This isn't Bill Mantlo. This isn't Michael Golden.
No Sal Buscema.
There's no Sal Buscema. Who are these people? I don't know these people.
The other company that's just like them as far as licensing goes is Dynamite.
Yeah.
But they're in a worse shape in terms of their creative breadth and depth than IDW is, because almost everything they do is licensed.
Yeah.
They have almost nothing that's independent. Every once in a while, Andy Diggle will walk in the door with an idea and they'll run a 6-issue miniseries. Yeah. Or someone else will walk in the door. But everything else they do over at Dynamite is licensed.
Yeah.
From James Bond to Betty Page to all of the
aren't they doing Magnuson, the Golden Key characters?
I was going there next. Gold Key characters to the pulp characters, King Feature stuff, Flash Gordon, The Shadow, Green
Hornet.
Yeah, all that stuff. They do very little, if any, original
The John Wick
things.
book, which apparently can't get out on time, so they're probably going to kill it.
But IDW at least is trying to do something.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's going to wrap it up then. We're done. We're finished. We're out of here. We got no more time to talk about Black Panther or anything else today, but be sure to stop off at the store's website, which is myalternatereality.com, where you can see Bo's news, which we post up almost every day.
I sent him stuff today.
He sent me stuff today that I'll be posting up over the course of the next week. You can also read JR's reviews. You can also read Vito Carli's reviews. You can see all the store shipping, along with many other things. The thing you can also find on there is the videos that I do for shipping, the shipping videos. And I'm going to be changing the dates around on those fairly soon.
Why?
Scheduling problems here at the store. I've been trying to post them up on Tuesdays, and they have been getting posted up on Tuesday nights. And I think that's going to wind up shipping to Wednesdays sometime in the next couple of weeks. But they're still going to happen, and they're still going to go up. They're just going to be a little later than I would have liked. I like getting them up a day early. Instead, they're going to be the day of. But still, they're going to be out there. So go to the store's website, check out all that stuff. And until next time, Rod.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. Bo.
Actually, people at work, everybody at work's doing that.
Doing the...
Yes, everyone I walk by, they go... And it
was good for the first 2 weeks, but it's like with something.
There are a couple of Caucasian folks at work who were doing that before the movie came out, and I saw them and said, you can't do that.
Say goodbye, Bo.
So long, kids.
Until next time, it's Comic Book Man saying, bye! Thanks a lot for listening. If you enjoyed this show, please like and share it with all your friends. We value your feedback, so drop us a question, comment, show idea, or complaint either at arcomics@msn.com or, if provided, in the comments section down below on this platform. The opinions expressed in this episode are solely those of the individuals and not necessarily those of Alternate Reality Incorporated. This show is, as always, coming to you from the Alternate Reality Comic Shop, located in the heart of beautiful downtown Mount Greenway at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie, serving Chicago comics fandom since 1994.